Great morning. Y'all come on in, come on in. Starting a little later than usual. Y'all come on in. My lighting's a little different right here. Great morning, April. How are you, gorgeous? Good to see you this morning. Y'all come on in. Make sure you share the broadcast. Make sure you share the broadcast. Good. Hey, Corey, how are you? Y'all come on, come on. Thank you for sharing, Christina. Hold on now, let me share. How about that? um, a story. Hey, Catherine. It is. Hey, Pastor Brandon. How you doing, Pastor B? Okay, y'all. Now listen. I know that for some of y'all, this is gonna offend you. I'm good. I'm gonna check on you because I know I'm gonna check on you. Um, some of y'all gonna be offended by this message, but understand that this is not a message personally directed at anyone. This is a message to us, right? And there's a reason that it's a message to us because God is trying to tell us something. Look, so often in our lives, we are not happy, satisfied, most pleased with our life and the way our life looks. Okay. We feel a way about our life. We may feel a way about our significant other. We may not like the way our relationship is going. We may not like us. We may not like the way we look. We may not be feeling ourselves. And um, listen, I came to tell you it's makeover time. Let me tell y'all something. If you're not happy with any aspect of your life, it's time to do a makeover. Now, one thing about me is I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm comfortable with my size. I'm comfortable with my face, with my body, even though it ain't the body that, I would like to have, okay? I got a little extra stuff going on, but I don't feel bad about my body. Like, I feel like I look good, right? I feel like my face is beautiful, right? It's not perfect. I'm not Beyonce, nor do I desire to be Beyonce because I don't want Beyonce problems, okay? Listen, Jay-Z a little too, I appreciate his wealth and stuff, but listen, I'm good. But I love what they've created. Now, that's the key. It's what we create. One of the things that I've always been in relationships with men who are like, you don't need makeup. And I don't need makeup. I don't have to wear makeup. I can function without makeup. This is the non-makeup Dr. V. So my husband can wake up to me every day. And before we even got married, he saw me without makeup because I do live sometimes without makeup. See, I'm not concerned about creating this perfect illusion of how I look. I want people when they see me to know that it's me for real, right? I don't want them to see me on social media looking one way and then see me in real life like, ah, nah, I'm not into that. So I try to make a point of showing up, makeup less periodically for a couple of reasons. One, it's early as I don't know what, okay, to put on a full face of makeup. And two, I don't even use that much makeup. I'm not the highlight contour. I don't do all that. I put on some foundation, some blush, some do my eyebrows, might put on some eyeliner. I'm gonna put on some eyeliner. Might put on some eyeshadow, line my lips, gloss my lips. That's me, okay? But I want us to understand that if you don't like anything or you want to enhance your life, you may have to do a makeover. A makeover is not a bad thing. A makeover doesn't mean that you're not comfortable in your skin. It doesn't mean that you don't like your house. It doesn't mean that you don't like, what you do. Now, you may not. You may not. In which case, you definitely need a makeover or you need a change, a shift. But it could be that you just need a little makeover. Like what you've got foundationally is solid, but you need to add a little oomph to it. Just a little oomph. All right. So I was talking to a girlfriend of mine, and she was saying, the beauty is that you get to build the foundation. You get to build the relationship you want from the foundation. In my marriage, I get to build the relationship, the marriage that I've always wanted from the foundation, and the foundation is key. Now, let me tell you why I'm telling you this. Every day when we wake up, we get to build the day that we desire from the foundation. Why? God says we get brand new mercies every day. So in these brand new mercies, the question becomes, what are you going to do with your brand new mercies? What are you going to do with it? How are you going to live your life? So I said, listen, I'm going to kill two birds with one stone and one live, right? So I said, okay, all right. I made sure my face is clean, washed my face, right? Got some things I got to do this morning. So I said, okay, I'm just going to go on and do my little face while I talk to him, okay? And I'm going to talk about some stuff. And I'm going to be real transparent. So y'all just know I'm going to be real transparent, okay? So I don't think I'm ugly. There are things I don't like about me. I mean, I love me, but there are some things that are not my favorite things. Okay, so I'm going to share some of my not favorite things about me in all vulnerability. Okay, listen, I'm hairy. Okay, I don't know. I got too much testosterone. Maybe that's why sometimes I act like a nickel. I got a lot of testosterone in my body. So I'm hairy. And one of the things I don't like about me is I get hairs on my face and in my neck. Oh my God. And now that I'm older, they're gray. And y'all know gray hairs don't act right and they don't play fair. So I don't pull the hairs every day. And look, I made the mistake of using one of those things to remove the hairs. I'm thinking it's gonna do one thing, and it really was a shaver. So you know what happened? The hairs came back more. I said, what in the hole? Now I gotta go get waxed so that I can minimize the hair growth. Okay, so I'm a little hairy on the hair. I almost got a beard. Don't judge me. I got a light mustache. Don't judge me. And then I got some hairs that grow in my neck. And then I have scarring. Okay, so I had some skin challenges and I'm hairy, right? So I remember I would just pull the hairs. That's a nervous habit of mine. I would just pull the hairs with my fingers. Like I got to pull those hairs. Like when I get nervous, when I get anxious, yeah, I would pull the hairs, right? So I have scarring along my chin and on my neck, right? Not my favorite thing about me. But I ain't trying to put on a whole bunch of concealer and everything, trying to cover it all up. I'm just not that. Not that bothered. So anything that you're building requires a solid foundation, right? So foundation is key. I don't like I don't prefer liquid foundation because I don't like it because I just don't like the way it feels. It'd be too much for me. I'd be like, oh, I feel like my face is smothering, right? In our life, I always start here because this is where my problem areas are. In life, we have to build a solid foundation. And a solid foundation requires you dealing with the things underneath the surface, right? You can't start with decorating the house if you don't have a solid foundation, because the foundation is going to crack. It's not going to be solid. And it doesn't matter what you put on top of it, it's not going to be able to survive and be stable. In us, our foundation has to be our God identity. Who are we in God? Who does God say we are? So regardless of what the world says or people say or any of that, who does God say we are? What does God say about us? And I think that that's the place where we do the greatest disservice, because when you don't understand who you are in God and what God says about us, because we've got some misconceptions about who we are. Let me clear some things up for you, for those of you who are struggling with your God identity, okay? First of all, we're the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. Bam. Okay. We're the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. Why? Because, listen, God made us in his image. You think God just made Adam and then put him to sleep and took the rib out and created Eve without giving any forethought to who they were and what they were to do? No, God don't even move like that. See, God made us in their image, right? That means we're made in the image of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. We have the characteristics of all three in us, okay? So we need to stop talking about what we can't do and what's not possible. If God resides in you and we're made in his image, he breathed his breath into man, so we have his spirit. Look, cancel the excuses. The biggest thing I think for us is we have major identity issues for a number of reasons, particularly as African descended people in America. One of the reasons is slavery. Slavery was designed to destroy our image, our concept of self, right? We had identity before we came to America, baby. Don't think African people didn't have no identity before they came to America. Come on now. We were kings and queens and rulers. We knew how to live in unity and harmony with the environment. We knew how to kill to eat, but not just kill for sport. Do you understand what I'm telling you? So we kept everything in balance. It's one of the things that in the Western world we lose is we don't have balance. We become workaholics because we want to make sure the finances is good, but we don't take care of our body, so our health is bad. We want to make sure that our health is good, but then we don't take care of our relationships. So we got good health, we got bad relationships. So we've got to learn balance, harmony, how to operate in all of the facets of our life. It's one of the things that I struggled with. Listen, smart as a whip. I'm going to handle my business. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to make it happen. But my marriages suffered. Why? I struggled in that area. And the reason I struggled so much, and I didn't really understand the depth of it until recently, I just didn't believe who God said I was. I know what he said, but I didn't believe it. So you got to get the foundation together. And the foundation is you, your identity, understanding who you are, who God created you to be. It doesn't matter what anybody else says about who you are if you know who you are. Now, if you don't know who you are, and this is why parents and other people are so important in the development of children's identity, because they don't know who they are yet. Their identity is forming. And so because their identity is forming, they're developing their identity. What people say impacts them more, right? So then we get these childhood wounds about who we are that we carry on into our adulthood. And in life, what happens is we show up as who they said we were. People respond to us based on that identity. We draw more of that into our life. It solidifies that that's who we are. And now we're stuck in an identity that's not truly ours. It's not who we are, but it's who we believe we are. So it's how we show up. It's how we live our lives. It's how we experience the world. Foundation is key. Now, my skin's a little funny. My complexion's a little, I know I'm light. Don't y'all be judging my lightness. I know I'm light, bright. I get it. I get it. I get it. But it's a bit light for me, okay? So sometimes I have to get a little creative because I never can really find foundation that matches me. So I have to kind of mix a little bit. So I'm going to mix a little bit. Just a tiny bit. Hit the problem areas again. Get that under eye. Y'all know it's a lot of stuff that people do that I don't do. Okay. And this is more time than I normally spend because normally in 5-10 minutes, my face is done and I'm doing what I'm gonna do. So if I be a little late and I got a face on when I come out, I was doing my face. That's what was going on. I was doing my face. Now, look, the foundation is important. You got to know who you are in God, but you also have to frame your life. You got to frame it. You got to identify how you want your life to look. You got to frame it so that certain things stand out, certain things pop, right? So building a house, and I've never built a house, but I've seen some houses built, right? Building a house, they say that framing is an important part of the process because it sets the structure for the house. Framing, right? That's when they put the frames up. Now, my brother does this stuff. I don't do it, but my brother does it. So framing becomes important with women. Guys, and I know you're like, y'all may be like, I don't care nothing about no makeup, so I'm going to use makeup and I'm going to use building a house. I'm going to use those two analogies because maybe you can relate to those, right? So you got a great foundation. Now you got to frame it, right? The foundation is here, but you got to frame it. Framing for me is about the eyes, right? The eyes and the lips. The eyes and the lips set kind of the frame of my face, right? So angel number 122. So when I'm framing, I'm going to hit my eyebrows. Why am I going to hit my eyebrows? Because they're sparse. I used to have incredibly thick, beautiful eyebrows. And then, back in the day, they talked about, you needed to arch your eyebrows, have the little skinny eyebrows. So, people would thin their eyebrows out, and then all your eyebrows don't grow back. Is what they don't tell you, okay? But if you see a woman and she don't have no eyebrows and she got a line going across, she done shaved her eyebrows at some point in her life trying to create the perfect eyebrow, and that's what she's left with. So she's trying to draw some eyebrows. I have to kind of draw my eyebrows. So it's a part of the framing. Now, guess what? Even in our lives, in our spiritual walk, in our development of our identities, there has to be framing, right? So there's some key areas that require that framing, right? How you want it to look, There are lots of things that people do with eyebrows. I'm a little basic, a little old school, so don't judge me. Let me stop saying that. I don't care if y'all judge me. It's all right. So anyway, let me say this. When you are framing your life, you're beginning to set some parameters. You're beginning to put the structure to your life. And there are key areas that you're going to focus on when you're framing. When you're framing your life, you want to make sure you deal with self, your relationship with others. You want to deal with your financial. You want to deal with spiritual. You want to deal with physical. You want to deal with mental/emotional or psychological, right? You want to deal with those things, right? Why do you want to deal with those things? Those areas are the primary areas, the 5 areas. Well, these are the 5 areas. When I think about life, this is what I think of. Spiritual, physical, emotional, financial, spiritual, physical, emotional, financial. That's 4. Psychological. Yes. Because emotions and the mind are related, but they're not the same thing. Okay. So when you're dealing with you and you're dealing with your life and you're dealing with the life that you want, right? You got to be able to be honest with yourself. Y'all know I'm big on that honest with yourself thing. I be telling y'all all the time, you need to be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Like, honestly, I never have my eyebrows look exactly the same. One is always bigger than the other one, and I cannot fix it. Okay, so honest with myself, right? So, you want to be honest with yourself about what you want. You know what you want. And if you don't know what you want, you've lost yourself. And all the more reason for you to spend some time with yourself to get to know yourself. You know what you want. Like, I know basically what I want my face to look like, right? I don't want a whole new face. I just want, my eyebrows to just pop a little bit, just a little bit. And sometimes my eyeliner be too dark, I mean, my eyebrow thing be too dark. That's when I got the dark brown, So I can't do too light, but I can't do too dark. I can't do black at all on my eyebrows. That's not gonna work at all because I'm gonna look a mess. Okay. But I want to frame it some anyway. So you got to know what you want your life to look like. What do you want your life to look like? This is a good place to start. How do you want to feel? How do you want to feel in your life? How do you want to feel? How do you want to feel in your relationship? How do you want to feel physically? How do you want to feel like when you look in the mirror? How do you want to feel? If you can identify the feeling that you want and go into that feeling and begin to see what will produce that feeling for you, then it helps you to get clear. This is why when I vision board based on creating a feeling. If you can create a feeling for the vision that you have, then you're more likely to achieve it because you felt it, right? And when you look at it, it creates a feeling in you. Sometimes we get caught up in what things look like, but not what they feel like. Oh, this good. Sometimes we get caught up in what things look like, but not what they feel like. See, a thing can look good, but not feel good. My God, today. Beyonce and Jay-Z was looking good together, but baby, she wasn't feeling good in that, honey. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we out here trying to live other people's lives and not understanding that their life is garbage. But it looked good. It looked good on social media. That's why you see on social media these relationships, oh, they look perfect, and all of a sudden they're not together. Because just because it looked good don't mean it feel good. Okay, now listen. So how do you want to feel? I know how I want to feel. Listen, I was real clear with God about what I wanted to feel like in my marriage. Man, let me see if I can pull up. I remember in going into 21, I did a vision board. I did 3 vision boards. I did them digitally. I made them my screensaver, right? But there was just some things that I wanted. I knew that I wanted to feel. They haven't changed a lot, right? But a whole section of my vision board dealt with relationship. What I wanted my relationship to look like and feel like. Angel number 133. So I'm going to try to go in and see if I can show you guys what that looked like, right? I chose pictures that created a feeling, right? See, if you can get the image that creates the feeling, you can always go to that place. You can always go and experience that. So I need vision. Let me see. Because I want y'all to see. And even in the board that I did in October, again, it was what I wanted to feel like. Angel number 122. I'm big on family. Because I'm big on family, I'm big on creating a certain feeling in family. I think that one of our greatest tragedies is that we don't give enough thought to what we want family to feel like. We can think about what we want family to look like, but not necessarily pay close attention to what we want it to feel like. Okay, so here we go. So, I got to move this down. So I created my phone wallpaper, and I took 3 vision boards that I did. I did one dealt with business, one dealt with my life, what I wanted to do with my trading money, like the lifestyle that I wanted that included travel, my house, my car, and my school was a big part of it. I had a school of entrepreneurship. I just closed it last August because God was shifting my life. And then I had one that dealt with like my identity basically and relationships and stuff. So One half of that, and I'm going to try to make it big enough for y'all to see. Dealt with my relationship. I don't know if y'all can see that good, but y'all see that? Y'all see how she's sitting on this lap looking all regal? Oh, y'all see that? Yeah. I want that. That kind of attraction and intimacy. Y'all see the rings. Y'all see him behind her, wrapping her up. Listen, I wanted to feel safe enough with a man that I could just lean back into him and he would cover me. I wanted us to be able to eat well together, work out together, have each other. Y'all see him running back there? Listen, me and my baby, we're getting ready to do the bubble run in Jacksonville in May. Okay? But there was, and I want them abs. I want them abs. The question is, do I want them enough to do what's required to get them? That is the $1 million question. The jury is out on that. I understood that there were things that I wanted to feel in my relationship. Well, in order to feel those things, there were some things that I had to do in me. Point blank, period. I couldn't get the feeling that I desired, the things that I wanted in the relationship without dealing with me. There's nothing that you desire that you can get without dealing with you. Because chances are there's some things in you that are preventing you from getting what it is that you desire. Because although you desire it in your head, you think about it, you're like, I want this. Are you willing to do what's required to get it? And in order for me to get the feeling that I desired in my marriage, like there's stuff I have to do in me. That means deal with me. So I had to do a makeover. Not a fake makeover, not just go get some new makeup, not just go get some new clothes. No, a makeover from the inside. I said, God, I need you to show me and what I need to address in me. And he did it. Like, he didn't do it all at once. If he had done it all at once, I probably would have fell out somewhere. Be like, oh my God, I can't do all that. It's so much. I'm a horrible person. But fortunately, scripture reminds me that he who began a good work in me is faithful and just to bring it to completion until the coming of Christ Jesus. Bam! I ain't got to do it all by myself. And I don't have to think that it all has to happen at once. It's going to happen because he started a good work in me. Yeah, it's going to be finished. So you got to know what you want it to feel like. I'm big on family. I told y'all that I'm big on family. I'm big on family being more than just blood. Angel number 133. Family to me is more than just blood. I'm not big on step. Like, I'm not big on step nothing, not even step exercises, okay? I'm big on connection. For me, the great connector is love, right? And so we have to love one another. Love makes your cheeks light up a little bit, right? So it's almost like when you put on blush, right? Sometimes you overdo it and it's too dark, right? And so if it's too dark, you're going to look like a clown, right? But you got to figure out what it is that's going to look best on you without it being too much. So let me hit the cheeks real quick. And I usually go right up under my cheekbone, and then I kind of swirl just a little bit to give a little cheeks a little rosiness. I can't be too dark because I'm a little light for that, right? Motions. Lala Anthony. Motives. Lala Anthony's line. So listen. So hit my cheeks, give it a little, make it blush a little bit. That's what love does. Love ought to bring color into your face. Love brings color to your face, to your cheeks, because it makes you what? Smile. You can't lose loving people. I believe that love is the thing that if we could just perfect our love, like we would be surprised at what our life would look like. So I intentionally choose love. I choose love in crazy situations. I choose love when it don't look like love would make sense in that situation. I choose it because love is the greatest force that we can experience because God is love. And love is God. Real love, agape love, right? Love without expecting someone to do something because you love them. Like, come on now. Listen, I'm telling y'all, we got to work on our understanding and comprehension of love. Love sometimes is difficult. I know y'all don't want to hear that. So yesterday, because making over the house, right? So as I'm making over the house, I had to figure out what I want my kitchen to feel like. What do I want my kitchen to feel like? When I walk in the kitchen, how do I want to feel and what's going to get me that feeling, right? So I decided, because, sometimes I can just want to be classy, right? But I want my kitchen to be just joy, right? Just sheer joy, sunshine, right? I want people to walk into the kitchen and light up, right? So I decided on a theme that produces that for me, right? But I was looking on Facebook Marketplace because I believe in other people's junk can be your treasure, right? I believe that. So I use Facebook Marketplace a lot. Okay. But I found a sign. And I really didn't know how big it was, right? Because it looked kind of small. But I found a sign because I'm also big on words. Why? Words produce emotions. And so, I'm looking for stuff that's going to produce certain emotions. When you walk in the house, you be like, oh yeah, I feel them. I feel the Johnsons, right? Now look, this is the thing. This house belonged to the Johnsons before I got here. So now it's got to belong to Tim and Veronica Johnson, right? So creating that atmosphere in an atmosphere that has already been established one way requires a dismantling and a remantling, right? So you got to take down what is and you got to build from the foundation what you desire. Now, y'all, honestly, sometimes that's a little difficult, but guess what? Difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations. My God, today, when I saw this sign, I said, if this is not my life, difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations. I said, I gotta have it. I don't know where it's going yet, but it's going somewhere because this epitomizes our lives, not just my life, but our lives, right? My husband has been on a difficult road. It's been a difficult road. And yet, here we are at this beautiful destination, but it requires work. We got to work at it. It doesn't happen overnight. Nobody waved a magic wand. Just because we love each other doesn't mean automatically we have a beautiful destination. We may have a beautiful feeling, but feelings can be fleeting. Okay. So you got to understand that you're responsible for creating the atmosphere that you desire. I know how I want the house to feel. I know what epitomizes our relationship to me. And it is love and laughter. Like, we laugh a lot, okay? Which takes me to my next spot, okay? Because remember I told you it's about framing, right? Which takes me to my next spot. The mouth. So our mouths can do a lot of things, right? I need y'all to get your heads out, get your mouth out of the gutter. But our mouths can do a lot of things. They can speak life or it can speak death, right? So it's important that we frame our life with words that produce what we desire and not words that produce what we don't. What we do is we have a tendency to talk a lot about what we don't want. I don't want this and I don't want that. We'll focus so much on what we don't want that we give it life. We give it life because we're so focused on what we don't want. And we say it so much that because we are creators, remember we're created in the image of God and God is a creator. How did he create? With his words. He said, let there be light, and there was light. And it was just that simple. When you open your mouth and say things, you create. Whether you want to believe it or not, whether you like what you create or not, you created it. Wherever you find yourself in life, whatever you have in your life, you have somehow created it. Ooh, I know y'all might not like that, but I'm telling y'all the truth. You've created it. You've created it with your mouth. You've spoken it. You thought it. You spoke it. And you spoke it so much that it had to come to pass, right? So think about this. If you can speak negative enough for it to come to pass, and if you speak what you want and what you desire, it too must come to pass. It means that everything in the universe must come together and conspire to produce what you say. So there were things I knew I wanted, like not just, in my relationship, but just in my life with my family. Now, what is family? Well, family for me is a lot of things because I've had a lot of relationships, right? Had a lot of relationships. I've developed relationships with people that I chose not to get rid of. I'm not the just throw people away person. That's not what I do. So normally in my relationships, what I do is, hey baby, good morning. I'm not fooling with my husband this morning. I just want to go on record as saying that because he is always doing something. I wanted to create family. Family is important to me. It's big to me. I lost my grandparents when I was, my maternal grandparents I lost when I was in high school. My paternal grandparents on the side of my daddy that raised me, I lost in college, right? So most of my adult life, I've not had my grandparents. So I always try to create relationships. And even when I was younger, because my relationship with my mother was fractured, I always had other mothers. I had women that fulfilled certain roles in my life and mothered me, right? I've had some amazing mother-in-laws. I really have. I've had some women that God brought in my life who were like mothers to me for real. They loved me, they embraced me, they embraced my son or my children, depending, Um, and I had a great relationship with them. So I also had a mother-in-law that it was rocky, and that's real talk. Like it was really, really rocky. But because I value relationship, angel number 133, I did the work required to heal what was broken in me as it related to that relationship and to extend myself. I believe that as much as it's within our power to live at peace with man, right? I want to live at peace with people. I don't want all this other stuff that, we hold on to. I want to live at peace, especially the people who are important in my children's lives, because if they're important in my children's lives and I can't fix it, I can't rectify that, I don't want to damage their relationships with their family because that's their family, right? So, got to be careful what we say, right? Thinking about what we want. Is me saying this going to help me produce what I desire in my life? Because if it's not, shut up. If it's not, keep it to yourself. Write it down in a journal. Come on. I mean, do something with it that's not going to create lasting damage. And that's one of the things we struggle with. We let our mouths slip off too much. And then we create damage, and then we wonder why there's damage, because you created it with your mouth. Be careful with this, what you do with it, because once words are spoken, you can never take them back. I don't care if you say you were just playing. I don't care if you just said it because you was mad. I don't care if you say, I said it to make you. I don't care what you say. It's been said. It's been spoken. It has gone forth and it has created something. So let your words be seasoned with grace. That's why even when people come out here and say stuff I don't agree with, I'm normally not going to cut you to the white meat and have you bleed out in a way that is caustic. You know what I'm saying? But you gonna know where I stand. But I ain't gonna just slit your throat. That's messy. Ugh. No. But I'll address it. I'll deal with it. So we've got to understand, we got to be careful what we say, right? We got to be careful what we say. So frame your lips with grace. Frame them to speak love. So yesterday, my husband comes with children like I come with children, okay? So he has almost like 4 sets of children. He's got his children with the first wife. He's got his children with his second wife. He's got a daughter from his youth. And he's got a son that is in the middle of those two, right? So there are several different relationships, several different dynamics. I don't know all the dynamics. I don't have to know all the dynamics. I just want to love all the children. That's me. I just want to love all the children. So one of the boys, by his second wife, and they're not biologically his, but they're his, right? He helped raise them. Like, come on, listen. This is what I'm gonna tell y'all about how I function when it comes to family. You ain't gotta come out of my womb for you to be my child, right? I don't do that, right? And I'm not trying to be any of the children's mother. I don't have to be their mother. What I'm not gonna be is Veronica. This is what I'm not gonna be. Okay, all right, all right. But he has a business. Y'all know I love entrepreneurship and I love supporting young entrepreneurs and especially African American entrepreneurs. He's got a food truck and it had been on my mind to go and get some of his food. I hadn't met any of the kids except one. So, I'm trying to build connection. I ain't trying to force nothing. I just want to show myself friendly. Okay. So I decided I was going to go and get some food. By the way, baby, if you didn't see my video about get you a box food truck, baby, you need to check it out because that food was fire. Do you understand what I'm saying? I ain't just saying it because that's not fun. For real, the food fire. Okay. So I go, I call and let him know I'm coming. I go, I get my food. He was like, it's nice to meet you. We chit chat just a little bit because he working, he making money. I ain't mad at it, right? And then I have an opportunity to tell him when I'm eating my food that how good the food is, right? He was like, well, we gotta come around more so we can get to know you because we don't know nothing about us. I just showed up on the scene out of nowhere, right? But that was good because it said I'm open to getting to know you, right? Look, you can't make people nothing. You can't make people like you. You can't make people love you. You can't make people want to have a relationship with you. You can't make people anything. But what you can do is you can make sure that they know that you're open. You can show yourself friendly. You can show yourself approachable. You can extend the opportunity. I just believe in extending opportunities, right? I believe in building relationship. I believe it ain't got to be all this unnecessary stuff that we have. Listen, you get to a certain age, everybody got some kids and some exes, okay? Everybody got some kids and some exes, well, most people, right? So there are things and dynamics that you have to deal with. I'm not mad at no woman that has ever been in his life. I ain't mad at them. Why I'm mad? For what? I don't have no reason to be mad, nor do I have a reason to be jealous. He's with me. And if he wanted to be with them, he would have been with them. So what? Why am I gonna be mad? I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Now, some people might be mad at me, but I'm not mad at nobody, okay? And I'm not saying anybody is. I'm just saying. So even there, I believe that it's important to be open to what God is doing, whatever that looks like. Just saying, holidays, birthdays, you're gonna have weddings, you're gonna have occasions where y'all gotta get together. Ain't no sense in no unnecessary drama. But you frame that with your mouth. You understand? You gotta be careful what you say. You gotta understand that we're always creating in what we say. And so the moment we say, oh, well, I know that's gonna be a problem, you just created a problem. Why? It doesn't have to be a problem. It does not have to be a problem, okay? So I'm big on creating that space. This is a part of creating the life I desire. So let me tell y'all what I want. This is one of the desires of my heart, right? I can't remember the last time all just my kids were together for Christmas, right? Because, they grow up, they have their own families, they have their own lives. But look, I want to spend a holiday with all the kids and grandkids, angel number 144, all together, and we all just have an amazing time, an amazing dinner. We play games, we decorate the tree, we cook, we eat a lot. Did I say eat? We eat some more. We open presents. Everybody gets to know each other, and we're able to build bonds that are real and genuine with a solid foundation. It requires maturity. And not everyone is mature enough to be able to do that. But I just believe I just believe with everything in me, I'm going to see that in this lifetime where all the kids come together, the grandkids, we get together, like we have an amazing time. And our house is going to be big enough to house everybody. So we got to have a lot of bedrooms, a lot of space so everybody can come and stay. Until then, we can get a big Airbnb and do it like that, honey. Game room, gotta have game room because my husband's big on a game room. Gotta have Galaga, gotta have Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man. Listen, you gotta have some fountain, gotta have pool table, gotta have video games, gotta have all that, right? I've seen it, I've envisioned it, right? And so I know what it felt like when I saw it. Like I was like, there's a feeling that I want, right? Not to look like a TV family, but because family is so important and so foundational. And even if we didn't get family right when we were younger, if we didn't get it right in previous relationships, we can get it right now. You can create whatever life you desire with your words, with your choices, with how you move. Listen, you can create it. So, yeah, that's my favorite baby, Miss Pac-Man. And Gallagher. I love Gallagher. And I'm going to beat you. I just want to let you know. You're going to lose both games. Okay. So, you got to create. Okay. Now, look. The real truth of life is we get caught up in what we see. Listen, let me tell y'all something about what you see, right? Sometimes what you see is an illusion. It's not really what it is. It's what you think it is, but it's not what it is. And so, we started kind of framing, right? We started framing, but then you got to clean up. You got to clean up the framing. You got to clean it up, right? So that means that, and I don't always do this, but I'm going to do it for these purposes. Sometimes you got to go back and clean up underneath to create the look that you desire. Okay? You just got to clean up. It's going to set a tone. It's going to create the canvas. You got to do a little more foundational work. You're going to frame and create the canvas for the color of your life. Because you need some color in your life. You got to have some color, okay? You're going to frame. You put a little, concealer under there to frame it. Give it a little crispness. Now, one thing about me, I never worry about perfection because perfection is an illusion, right? So I'm never worried about creating the perfect eye, the perfect look, the perfect anything. I just always go and create. Our problem is we're scared. We're scared to create. We're scared to try anything new. We're scared to take a chance. What if we're rejected? Now, I could have been like, well, what if I go out there and he rejects me? It was going to be all right. I was going to live, y'all. I promised I was going to live, and I think that our fear of rejection is a big one because we don't want anyone to not want us. Again, my philosophy is all you can do is show yourself friendly and let the rest be the rest. And just blend it on in, honey. Listen, ain't nobody got time for all of that extra. Because you don't know if you don't go. You can't see unless you try. You gotta take a risk. We don't want to take a risk. I'm taking a risk. And I'm taking a risk and I'm betting on me and I'm betting on my family, all of my family and what my family is going to look like, right? I just believe that everyone who is supposed to be a part of that experience will be a part of that experience and we'll get to enjoy life together. Now, that's my philosophy. That's how I'm moving and I'm standing on it. And I just understand that I get the opportunity to add the color and the spark to my life. I get the opportunity to build what it is I desire, to make known my requests. You know, the word says you have not because you ask not, or you ask amiss, right? So I ask knowing that God's desire is for family to be family. And so I asked for that. I said, God, listen, do what you need to do, God, for our family to be intact, to be complete, for there to be healing. That's all you can do. And then live. live. Live unafraid. Live taking chances. Live loving and loving big. I love big, right? I love big. And I'm really lovable. So I used to think that I could make anybody love me, right? That's a lie from the pleaser, right? I used to think I could make anybody love me. Well, I can't. Everybody ain't gonna love me. And it's okay. But people who love me for real. And they love me like for life. They might not always like me, they might not always agree with me, but they love me. So I just think that that's important, that we're not afraid to add color, to add spice, to, you know, do what we got to do to fix the lines. And it doesn't even have to be all lot. It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be a lot. But sometimes it is a lot because a lot is required. Do what's required to get the life that you desire. And know this, know that God ultimately is in complete control of everything. Now, I just added some color, you know, I cleaned up, I framed, put a little blush on. It ain't no like going to a gala beat, you know. This is a like little everyday beat for me. But there's something missing. And so sometimes in life, you'll get to a point where you realize that something is missing. You're not quite sure what it is, but you're looking, you're looking, you're looking. And you may be at the place in your life where you feel like something is missing and you're not quite sure what it is. But this is the time when you've got to engage in introspection. You got to really look. You got to look closely at you and see what's missing. What's missing? What's missing? So that God can reveal to you what's missing in your life. And as he reveals it to you, then do what's necessary in order to fix it, to get there. As I'm doing my office, I know that there is a look I'm going for. There's some key pieces that I want. And so, you know, I've been on Marketplace looking for some stuff and, you know, I found some stuff and I'm putting it together. And it's okay that it's not all done all at once. You know, it's a process. And I give myself permission to go through the process. But I had to start, I had to create at least enough for me to be able to work and work in peace. And I know that for me, that's important. It's imperative for me to be able to continue doing life and doing what I do with excellence while my office is becoming. Don't be afraid of becoming. Don't be afraid of it not being the finished product, of you not being the finished product. Open yourself up to becoming who God has already ordained you to be, who you already are, but you got to peel some layers off to get to it. So as I'm sitting here and I'm looking at my face and I know something is missing, what's missing? Well, it deals with my eyes. You'll notice that a lot of things deal with the eyes because they say the eyes are the windows to the soul, but our eyes also often affect what we believe. We tend to believe what we see and not what we know. We think things are one thing and it may be something else, but because our eyes see that or saw that or think that, you know, we now have locked into it. My God. This is the thing. I know I need my eyeliner. And if I know I need my eyeliner and I'm sitting here and we're having this conversation and I see that that's the thing that's missing, how badly do I want to finish? Sometimes we don't want to finish badly enough to move or to shift. We don't want to change badly enough to get up. It's like when you're in the bed and somebody left the light on and you know the light needs to be turned off and nobody wants to get up and turn the light off because everybody's comfortable. Not everybody, like there's whole people in the bed, a whole lot of people in the bed, but you comfortable. You don't want to get up. Somebody has to be willing to sacrifice their comfort to get up. to get what's necessary or to do what's necessary. And very often we can find ourselves in a place where we're expecting other people to be the ones to get up all the time. But why am I going to be the one getting up all the time and you never get up? Well, I'm not going to say never because, you might get up sometimes, but I'm the one who predominantly gets up. At the end of the day, what you need done or what you need, how important is it to you that you have it? If it's important enough, you'll get up even if you get up every time. Okay, but if you get up all the time, you may want to have a conversation. We don't do that. We don't have no conversation, but we want to go out. How was I didn't want to get up? Mm-mm. Have a conversation. I've learned the importance of conversation. So my husband and I have a lot of conversations. Some of our best conversations we have over the phone, right? Why? This is how we started our relationship. We started our relationship on the phone, right? We spent a lot of time talking in the wee hours of the morning while he was at work. So sometimes when I need to say something, I call him while he's at work, right? In the wee hours of the morning while he's at work, and while he's working, we talk. Another great time, married people, to have conversations, especially difficult conversations, is after sex. After you have made love and it was real good and y'all laying there and y'all snuggled up, it's a great time to have a conversation that's a difficult conversation. Why? Because your guards are down. It's not a time to attack the other person, but it's a time where they may be more receptive of what you have to say. They may be more willing to hear it. I know y'all don't want to talk about that, church people, but you need to be having sex, married people. Not out of obligation, but because you desire each other. And if your desire has waned for each other, you don't have a lot of desire for each other, create desire. You're able to create that. If you want desire and intimacy and hotness in your marriage, create it. It is creatable. Okay? You just got to be willing to take some risks, do some things different. Listen, know what the other person likes and give that to them, right? My husband's a lingerie person. I'm not a big lingerie person, but he's a lingerie person. So I put on lingerie for him. Because they don't do nothing for me. But men are visual. You understand? So you got to understand that it's your job to create the atmosphere for what you desire in your life. You ain't got to listen to me. You ain't got to believe me. I don't even know why God gave me this topic to talk about, but he did. And because he did, I'm going to do what he said do. And I've learned that if I do what he says do, and I do it the way he says do it, it will have impact. And it may not hit everybody, but it'll hit who it's supposed to hit the way it's supposed to hit. If you don't like something about you, do something about it. Do something about it. Don't talk about you don't like it and then you ain't doing nothing. Shut up then about it, right? Know that God desires for you to have the desires of your heart. But you got some work to do on you, for you, in order for those things to happen. So now I've got to get my eyeliner. So y'all hold on, because it's important enough for me to finish this that I will pause long enough to get what I need. And if it was important enough for you to hear the end, you stayed. And if it wasn't, you left. And either way, I'm good. It's good. We're good. Now, because what we see matters, it's important. My eyes are one of my greatest features. People always ask me, do you wear contacts? I do wear contacts, but my contacts aren't colored. Those are my eyes, right? And I just believe in setting my eyes off because I don't have no eyelashes. And I don't necessarily like putting eyelashes on. I know some people like it. I don't necessarily like it. I do it sometimes, to create a look, but it's not my everyday thing. Every day I'm not going to put no eyelashes on. Not everybody lines under the eye. I line both, right? But I know that eyeliner helps set my eyes off. And because my eyes are one of my greatest features, it's one of the things that people are most drawn to, I tend to do it. So I did my live, I did my face, and hopefully in the process of me doing all those things, you heard something that inspired you, empowered you, and gave you something that you need to create the life that you desire. It doesn't matter what anybody else desires in their life. It doesn't matter what I desire. What matters is, what do you desire? What do you want your life to look like? And your life doesn't have to look like mine, and you don't have to desire what I desire. But what do you desire? Because we all desire something. Now, with or without the makeup, I love me. And my husband loves me. He probably loved me more without the makeup, okay? Just being honest. Like, you don't need that. I know, but I'm going to put some on. So today, make a decision for you. If you don't like what your life, what your relationship, what your job, what your business, what your spiritual life, what your health, what your emotions are looking like, do a makeover. Don't be scared. Take a risk, take a chance. And know this, that you have the ability to create the life that you desire. Figure out how you want to feel and create that emotion. What makes you feel like that? Find that, add that, and watch how God begins to move in your life. I was going to do the live whether I had makeup on or not, because I'm comfortable in me. But are there things that I want to accentuate? Absolutely. Are there things that I want to downplay? Definitely. But none of them change who I am at the core of my being. One thing I know for sure is that I'm literally watching us build and create the marriage we desire. We've both been married before. We know things we liked, we know things we didn't. God's stretching us. But He's stretching us so that He can give us what we really desire. And what we desire is not the same as what I desire or what He desires, because we are becoming the Johnsons. And I never want to stop becoming. I never want to move from that in the beginning. I never want to move from that wanting to make each other happy, wanting to bring a smile to each other's face, wanting to make each other laugh, knowing when to just hug each other or touch each other. I'm grateful that God gave me this opportunity. But what I do with this opportunity is up to me. My baby said the comment is looking good on me. Thank you, boo. I always want to have that giggle. I always want to feel like a little girl, a teenager with him, right? I always want to have that, and we can if we do it. We just have to do the work. Y'all, we get lazy. We get what we want and then we get lazy and it loses the spark. When the sign says, difficult roads often lead, come on now, let me get it, to beautiful destinations. Move my baby comment. That's real. Yeah. It's been a little difficult, been a little challenging. I'm so excited about where we are and where we're going. Get excited about your life. Get excited about the opportunity to build what you want, to create what you want for your life. Get excited. My baby said, you always got to do something to get something. Come on now. And let me tell y'all something about that man. Listen now. I'm going to tell y'all. about Timothy Johnson, okay? He hears me. He hears me when I say something. Now, he may not get it the first time. He may not get it the second time. But when he gets it and he acts on it. And I don't care that he didn't hear me the first time or the second time, because when he really heard me, right? When I said it in a way that he could get it, when he was in a place where he could receive it, he got it and he acted on it. And I want to be like that too. Like, I want to hear him and act on that. I want to make sure that I'm paying attention, and not that I change who I am, but in the same way that I want him to do stuff, that I do stuff. You want something, do something. I always want to be in a place where there's nothing that he wouldn't do for me, and there's nothing that I wouldn't do for him. And it's not just based on doing something, it's based on just being that person in a person's life. You know, oh, my stomach. Baby, you heard that, babe? Sounds like Whataburger. Whataburger! Honey chicken biscuit. God is trying to do something in your life. And we want so much from God, but we're not willing to give anything or give anything up. I challenge you to close out this month creating the life that you want, the life that you desire, doing the things that you need to do to set the foundation. God has already given me a word for April, and I'm just going to tell y'all that April is going to be quick, accelerated. You're really going to spring forth. So we gotta do something, y'all. There's some stuff we gotta close out, and some stuff that we've got to start, so that God can do what he desires to do for us in the month of April. And I'll talk more about it a little later in the month, but I wanted to just give you a heads up. It's time to close out this first quarter with a bang. I'm not saying that you got to have everything perfect, but I'm saying there are things that God has told you to do that you haven't done that you got to do. And if you don't complete it, you got to at least start it. You can't go into April with all this stuff left over from March that you didn't do when you could have. You had time. You had ample opportunity, but you chose not to. So you choose to do the work necessary to create what it is that you desire, and let God do the rest. I promise you, he will. He's not slack concerning his promises. And when I feel like he's slack, I say, God, you said that your word would not return to you void, but it would accomplish everything that it was sent for to accomplish. And I'm standing on that 10 toes down. He said, oh, you want to throw my word back at me? You want to throw my word back at me? Okay, let me go and handle this. Listen, God wants to do it. So look, you guys, if you're in a place where you're not sure, you don't know exactly what you want, you don't know what's been preventing you, then you want to do the No More Sabotage 6-week supercharge. Listen, go to bit.ly No More Supercharge 1. You're going to identify your saboteurs. You're going to learn how to kill them. And then you're going to learn how to move from surviving to thriving, right? Bam. We're doing it. We've got accountability partners and groups. Listen, it's an amazing experience to help you do this thing called shift, called makeover from the inside out, and not have to do it by yourself. You know, it's something powerful about knowing that you're not alone. You're not the only one that struggles with this, and you realize you thought it was just you, and you're like, oh, it ain't just me. Yeah, that's what we do. And it's going to be an amazing time. Right now, until midnight tonight, you can get the 6-week supercharge for $300. Listen, the 2 classes for No More Sabotage is $140. The 2 classes. You get 6 weeks for $300. Oh, you can't beat it. So you get 11% discount off what I normally charge for it. So these are introductory prices. So register tonight by midnight. Get that. Afterpay is available. You can make payments over 8 weeks. Make 4 payments. It's split equally. If you're unable to get approved for Afterpay, and that happens, come on, y'all, let's just be real.
hit me up. Let's figure out what we can work out to make it happen for you, and we'll figure something out. And this is the next thing. I encourage you, don't just do the basic 6 weeks. Get the VIP, because with the VIP one, you get 2 1-hour individual sessions with me. And with the VIP two, you get 4 VIP sessions with me. VIP one is 400 and VIP two is 500. You're going to want to get that VIP two because you get 4 1-hour sessions with me that can be used at any time, not just during the 6 weeks. So you can use those anytime. That gives you a little extra time. Normally a 1-hour session with me, well, actually it's a 55-minute session with me. That's what you normally get, right? It's $125. You want to make sure that you're able to tap in and take full advantage of that. Those 4 sessions alone are worth $600, and that's not even counting the 6-week supercharge. So it's an incredible investment. Invest in you, because I'm telling you, if you want real change, you got to work on you for real. Don't think that it's just going to happen overnight. It doesn't. Look, in the meantime and in between time, let me just say this to you. I love you guys to life, and life more abundant. If you're looking to shift, you want to sow a seed, you want to put in a destiny seed, a breakthrough seed, you can go to Cash App $DRV Johnson 777. Cash App $DRV Johnson 777, and put that seed in the ground. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. God moves on his spiritual laws. The law of sowing and reaping is a very real law. Sowing and reaping is a very real law. It's a very real spiritual law. And listen, the way God has been moving in my life, and this is what he said to me all from the beginning of the year. He said, hundredfold, hundredfold, hundredfold return. He's giving people a hundredfold return for seeds sown into me. And I said, God, why hundredfold? Because I'm going to keep it 100. I love God. God and I have a different kind of relationship. Like, we laugh and stuff. Okay. Now, y'all might not. Y'all might be talking to the God. It's like, oh, Father God. That's not who I talk to. I'll be like, Daddy, I'm mad with you. I'm not doing that. He's like, oh, yeah, you doing it. I'm not doing it. You doing it. You know how you be talking under your breath. And I end up doing it. So listen, let God be God in your life. Let him guide you and direct you, even in the sowing part, right? And if he leads you to sow, sow. So what he says sow, when he says sow it, the way he says sow it, and put an assignment on your seed. Give your seed an assignment so that it knows exactly what it's to do, okay? Look, I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Have an amazing, incredible, and epic day. We get ready to go get a honey chicken biscuit from Whataburger, and it's gonna be my treat. I'm gonna treat my baby because he's so good to me. Love you guys. Have a great day. Mwah. Be blessed.